All right, we are fully caught up everywhere. Shout out to all of you guys. Let's get into the first main topic of the night. And that has to do, oh man, with Randy Pitchford. So, Randy Pitchford, ladies and gentlemen, my God, this guy put his foot in his mouth so damn hard, it's not even funny. Randy Pitchford thought it was in his best interest, which, by the way, tomorrow, 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time, tomorrow's video is a deep dive into Borderlands history, Randy Pitchford's history, and just how often this guy has put his foot in his mouth when it comes to Borderlands and when it comes to just him in general. So we got a lot to talk about tomorrow with Randy Pitchford, but I'll do a little bit of it today. I'll cover this part today. So he said, when asked by a fan, let me see if this article has the screenshot. If not, I'll see if I can find it. It doesn't like it can find it because Insider Gaming doesn't like talking bad about too many executives. Let's see, Randy Pitchford. See if I can find it on. Here we go. So check this out. Fucking journalists are useless, man. I swear to God. So this person said the following, where he said, Randy, this game better not be $80. Don't take that risk. A lot of gamers aren't going to pay $80 and feed this notion of constant increase of the price tag. You are the CEO. You have some say with the price when it comes to your publisher. Right? So I feel like that's, listen, could it have been unreasonable? Maybe, obviously, right? I think at this point, if you think the CEO is going to do a fucking thing when it comes to reducing the price of the game, I think you're a little bit crazy to even think the CEO gives a fuck, which is very clear in his response, which we're going to go over in a second. But Randy Pitchford is not going to give a single fuck about the price point of which his game is released at, because the higher the price of the game, he's thinking, ooh, more money. That's what he's thinking. But anyway, so I feel like it was a simple question. It didn't really need such a response. But Randy thought it was a great idea to respond in this way. So he says, A, it's not my call, which I feel like he should have just ended with. Like your entire response should have just been, hey, it's not my call, but we hope you give it a chance anyway. That's it. That's it. That's all you had to say. But no, he just had to throw that B in there. So he says, if you're a real fan, you'll find a way to make it happen. My local game store had Starflight for Sega Genesis for $80 in 1991 when I was just out of high school working minimum wage at an ice cream parlor in Pismo Beach, and I found a way to make it happen. Wow.
Holy shit.
So, number one, you asshole, there was nowhere near as many games back in that day as there is now. Number two, when you paid that $80, you got the entire experience without those little things that have been bumping your revenues called microtransactions, DLCs, all kinds of downloadable bullshit content that you definitely put into your Borderlands games nonstop. Number two. And number three, the cost of living and wages has not got up nowhere near the rise of inflation. It's not even close to matching. This fucking guy, bro, he's like, well, I paid $80 for Starflight per se. Yeah, and you got the whole experience, bro. This is basically a multi-million-dollar CEO pulling a Pokemon, and they're like, well, if you're just a broke boy, just say so. Bro. Oh my God. Anyway, so the two main fuck-ups he did here was, number one, he questioned whether or not the person who was asking him this question was a real fan or not. So basically, he's saying, if you're not a real fan unless you pay full price for the game. You're not a real fan unless you pay full price for the game. Unless you pay $80, you're not a real fan of Borderlands. which I think is crazy because given how Borderlands is in such a bad place right now, ever since Borderlands 3, Tiny Tina's was awful. Not a lot of people like Tiny Tina's. That game had terrible reviews. It had its moments where it could have been good, but overall, it just got nuked off the face of the earth. And Borderlands 3 was garbage compared to the first two, so we're not even going to bother. This is such a disconnected response. The CEO of Borderlands is disconnected from the gamers that are buying his games. Shocker. I know. You guys are probably like, wow, shocker. Yeah, I know. A CEO that's disconnected from his customer base? Wow, no way. That's never happened before. And number two, to try to be such a smug and pretend that, oh, well, when I was working my minimum wage job, bro, you're a fucking CEO now. What is his net worth now? What is Randy Pitchford net worth? Let's see. It's not publicly available, but it's likely significant due to his role. All right, so it's not publicly available. But we're probably going to say it's definitely it's got to be over 100 million, I got to imagine, being the CEO for as long as he's been. The amount of money he's been making. What's his salary? Does anybody know? Let's see. Randy Pitchford. A former Gearbox lawyer alleged that Pitchford took a $12 million bonus in 2016. And that's just the bonus. A $12 million. Anyway, so yeah, he's definitely got over $100 million easily net worth, but whatever. So people very clearly did not like this response, okay? People were very angry at this response. They had their comments that they had to say, but the overall sentiment of these comments were, obviously he's out of touch. This is not the first time he's been an asshole, and it's not going to be the last time he's going to be an asshole, right? I feel like it's pretty clear. It's pretty clear that Randy Pitchford has a certain way with words because he's gotten in trouble many times before for what he has said. This guy says the death of the AAA industry is going to feel amazing as a consumer. I think we are at a point now where indie and AA is shining so much right now that AAA is suffering because of it. They're suffering because of themselves, but ultimately they're suffering because now competition has ramped up. It has become easier and easier for indie developers and AA developers to compete with AAA. As long as they're passionate, they have the right tools, and they have the right team, they have proven to be able to do it. Schedule 1 made more money than most AAA games have in the last couple of years, and it was made by mostly one guy. So you can have all these CEOs making millions of dollars. That's great. Fantastic. Have at it. But you guys are going to become a dying breed. It's only a matter of time. The amount of studios that are closing down, the amount of layoffs that are happening, the amount of pay cuts that are happening, and it's only really happening in the AAA scene. Sure, there's some AA studios that are closing, and there's some woke like indie studios that are closing because they ran out of government money, whatever. It's only a matter of time before we get to the point now where you guys are going to be damn near extinct at this point. These big corporations, these big studios, yeah, they're not really surviving very easily anymore. Randy Pitchford needs to take a pay cut. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. For some reason, I have a feeling that Randy Pitchford is the kind of guy that would rather everybody else either get laid off or take a pay cut before he does. So, in any case, he wants to be snarky and it's fine. That's his right. He doesn't have to say on the price. I'll buy the Ultimate Edition of Borderlands 4 in 2 years for like $20 because Borderlands 3 didn't take that long to go down in price. This is where most people's mindset are at. I feel like most people's mindset when it comes, I know that's what it was for me. I don't think I ever remember buying a Borderlands game at full price. They go on sale so fast and they go deep, like deep discounts. Let me look at Borderlands 3 on SteamDB. Hold on. Borderlands 3, SteamDB, the lowest recorded price Bro, look at this. The lowest recorded price of Borderlands 3 was $6, bro. $6, bro. That's the lowest recorded price on SteamDB for Borderlands 3. Let me see what Tiny Tina's Wonderland. Let's see. Bro, this game got so nuked. Oh my god. Wow. Price history. This was $11.99. $11.99, right? Is the lowest recorded price. Borderlands 2. Let's see. $3. $3. 3 is the lowest recorded price for Borderlands 2. What about Borderlands? Let's see. Borderlands Game of the Year. $3. 3. So I could buy Borderlands 1, 2, and 3 for barely anything. For around $10. I could buy his first 3 games, not including Tiny Tina, for about $10, and you want me to spend $80 on the 4th installment. Why the fuck would I do that? Why would anybody do that? Seriously. Why would anybody do that? These games are going to go on sale at some point again, it's going to happen. So again, there is 0 point to buying Borderlands 4 at full price. Literally 0 point. These games were given away for free on Epic Games on top of that too. Can I have what he is smoking? Oh, I don't think we can afford what he's smoking. Let's be real. He must be smoking that premium shit. We're talking top tier shit, right? I don't think we can afford it. Just being honest with you. So anyway, this is basically a disconnected CEO that has taken it upon himself to remind everybody just how disconnected CEOs are from the general public. That's really it. And I don't think anybody should be shocked at this, right? I see a lot of people going crazy over what he said, and I understand why they're doing that. But you really shouldn't be, because these people are absolute fucking psychos. They want you to bend over and buy their shit at maximum price. And when you look at them and say, so, hey, what value are you giving me for this extra $10? Like, what are you offering that's making this worth $80? Why is this game worth $80? And they're like, well, if you're a real fan, you'll find a way to buy it. Otherwise, you're not a real fan. Bro, that's the equivalent of saying with Joe Biden that you're not black unless you vote for Joe Biden. A real black person would vote for Joe Biden. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's so fucking ridiculous, bro. It's gaslighting. That's all it is gaslighting. Pitchford's comments claiming that if they were a real fan, they'd find a way to spend $80 on a new game was met with backlash from another number of people on social media. The price is not the issue. The issue is what our ownership looks like now compared to back in 1991, which is true. Keep in mind, guys, back in 1991, you bought a game. That was it. You bought the entire game. Now you buy a game. You're lucky if it works. And if it does work, guess what? It has an extra mission that was taken out of the game, maybe even 5 missions that were taken out the game that you now have to pay money in order to get, or they're going to bundle it with a pre-package for a early access deluxe edition for an extra $20. That's what it is. Dude, you must be so out of touch with today's economy. It is over 4 times more difficult for a single person to make a living with the current cost of living. You think this guy gives a fuck about that? Do you think do you think Randy Pitchford even remotely thinks about whether or not the people who are buying his game can survive or have, or can live or whatever? No, of course not. He only cares about you being a real fan and buying his game at $80. So again, keep in mind, this happened about a few days after a former executive over at, I think, PlayStation, Sony, whatever, basically said that you're a broke boy if you're not going to pay $80 for a video game and that you should get over it. So corporate AAA gaming is making their move, right? Nintendo started it. They opened the floodgates, and now everybody is making their move. And they're going to gaslight you, and they're going to try to make you feel bad for fighting back against $80 video games. They're going to gaslight you and try to tell you that you're not real fans unless you pay $80 for it. They're going to do everything they can because they are reliant on this. They know that this is the way to easier money. The less people fight back, the more people buy $80 games, the more money they make per sale. Exactly, Yoshida. Yeah, Yoshida said that. So this is where we're at. And you know what? This comment is actually correct. Thwarted Geek. Doom not selling well is a great sign that people ain't buying this shit. Absolutely. Abso-fucking-lutely. You are onto something, my good man. Because again, Doom Eternal had a concurrent player base of 104,000. Doom the Dark Ages is barely over 30,000. That is 1/3 of what Eternal did. 1/3. Which is why they're doing the whole players engaged metric to not only make their shareholders feel better, but to try to convince you that the game is amazing and you're missing out on something by not spending $80, $70, whatever it is on the game. Borderlands 4 is already cooked. I think Borderlands 4 was cooked even before this. I think all this is going to do is make it worse. I can only imagine how this is going to end up. This might be another Battlefield situation. It might be. If you don't like it, don't buy it kind of a situation. I think we might see people choosing not to buy it. I don't know. I guess we're going to have to see. So in any case, that's just the coverage on Randy Pitchford. If anything else comes out, I'll be sure to let you guys know. But as of right now, that's all I got for Randy Pitchford.